Today I want to talk about porn addiction and compulsive masturbation habits. You know, for the longest, we always refer to porn addiction or masturbation habits as weaknesses. Now, the problem when you refer them as weaknesses, the solution is always to suppress or do away with it. But this type of addiction has nothing to do with a weakness. You know, it is more about a loop. And the loop is you get triggered. Once you get triggered, the urge comes up. After the urge, you act on the urge. That action brings relief. And then what do? You repeat. So that's the loop. Trigger, urge, action, relief, then repeat. You know, so when you look at it as a loop, the goal is not harsh suppression or doing away with it. The goal is to loosen its grip. You know, understand that loop. Understand the loop, loosen its grip, and build a life where it is no longer the default escape. And how do you do that? First, you start by mapping your pattern. When do your urges spike? Is it late night? Is it when you're bored? Is it stress? Is it loneliness? You know, triggers are the ignition key. So once you see them, you can interrupt earlier in the chain. Secondly, create friction. Move devices out of those private places. Set up limits or filters. Avoid being in private. Keep your doors open. Change the time or place where the habit usually happens. You know, make the old path slightly inconvenient. After that, build alternative responses. Urges pick and pass like a wave. When one hits, don't argue with it. Surf it. Give yourself 10 to 15 minutes. Within those time, step outside. Take a jaywalk. Baby. Do push-ups. Shower. Call a friend. Or switch to a task that uses your hands. Because, as they say, an idle mind is the devil's playground. Then with porn addiction and masturbation, idle hands. Idle hands are very bad. Give them a task, bruh. So in this sense, you're not killing the urge. You are outlasting it. You know. Another way is to structure your day. As I said, idle minds are fertile grounds for old habits. Anytime you have empty time, my friend, repeating an old habit is easy. So plan your evenings, set a consistent sleep time, and reduce aimless scrolling. You know. Another thing is, and which is actually the most important, is to strengthen your baseline. This is through exercise, sunlight. Sunlight is very important for your nervous system. Regular meals. And also your sleep has to be stabilized. Because all this will stabilize the reward system, so you are less vulnerable to spikes. You know. Psychologically, this habit is tied to the brain's reward system. That's the dopamine. High intensity stimulation trains the brain to expect quick rewards, making ordinary life feel flat. Recovery means resensitizing. That is limiting triggers, and reintroducing slower rewards. You know, this is like learning. When you learn something, there's like a dopamine reward to that. Social connection, creative work, you know. And expect withdrawals, by the way. You know, you're going to get, there will be some phases where you'll be facing the withdrawals. Things like restlessness, irritability, boredom. Those are signs that your system is recalibrating. It is not proof that you're failing. You know, work on the root, not just the behavior. Many use porn to cope with stress, anxiety, or loneliness. So build healthier coping. Things like journaling, therapy, honest conversations, or skills that help you process skills that help you process emotions instead of escaping them. You know, spiritually, this is about attention and energy. Where your attention goes, your life grows. Reclaiming it is less about fighting desire and more about choosing where to invest yourself. Invest yourself in purpose, relationships, creation. You know, that way discipline becomes an act of self-respect, not punishment. You know, in short, manage the loop. Identify the triggers, add friction, surf the urges, and replace the behavior with healthier actions. You know, support your brain with structure and care, and address the underlying emotional needs. Progress is not perfection. Track your wins. Expect some sleeps here and there. And return to the path without turning one mistake into a lifestyle. You know, the problem is now, you want to turn a mistake, something that you consider a mistake, you want to turn it into a lifestyle, something you can manage. No. May people heal. Heal.